student perspective, I think that they feel that there's a little bit more stress just because that AP is tied onto the front of it. But in some of my experiences, I think the workload might be more significant in the CP classes that I've taught than it is in the AP classes. So I think some of that stress is a little self-imposed, and certainly the pace is a lot faster. But I think as long as people keep up with their work and everything, they're going to be able to keep up just fine and not get too far behind.
And so because of these AP classes and the rigor of them, my stress has been like through the roof recently. And it causes a lot more breakdowns, which I mean does help because it makes you feel better afterwards, but it's just a lot of build up until that point, and that can just be a scary thing. So it's definitely does have a control on my life.
I had almost like this idea ingrained in me, like, okay, I gotta challenge myself. I just need to put in more effort. I need to put in more effort. I need to put in more effort. And it was like this horrible stress experience. I don't really get stressed out from school, but I was like genuinely stressed out from that. And so finally I was like, okay, you know what? I'm failing this class. I just need to go at a slower pace.
I think there's a variety of things that instigate students taking APs. I think a lot of it is certainly self-imposed, where students feel like they need to, for whatever reasons. Certainly there's the GPA boost that you get, which is helpful getting into colleges. I know a lot of students, as they get to be juniors and seniors, want to take more AP classes so that that GPA boost looks good, it looks better on your on your high school transcripts that apply to college. I think that sometimes counselors will take a student that is a strong student and try to push them a little bit towards an AP class. Parents are probably a huge source of that. I know as a teacher and a coach, I try to encourage as many students as I can to take my class because I think that they're going to be successful. I think we have a format developed that any student can come in and be successful. So I don't want students to be deterred by the fact that it's an AP class, that they can't take it and do well and save money. So certainly I think there's a variety of places people get pressured to take AP classes.
What school you're going to. That would be the only reason why, what college, right, you're going to. That would be the only reason why that I can think of you would want to take an AP class, is though that way you can get out of those, those prereq courses, and you can save a little bit of money that way. That's really the only reason, but make sure you know, or you at least have some idea on what school you're going to. I didn't know I would be going to Canada, so I didn't know that none of my APs would count, but if you're going to CSUN, then make sure, okay, this AP would get me out of this class. How's that going to help my major? If it gets you out of a biology class, but you want to be a music major, that's not going to help you at all. So really, I would say look ahead and then assess whether you actually need to take the test. Taking the class is awesome. Skip the test. It's not worth it.
So I've had a friend that I've known since 2005, and she was asked to audition into the center, and so I thought, well, she can do it, I can do it. And so I went out for the audition, I tried doing it, and it turns out I got in. Then I found out later the benefits of it, and one of the main ones that was in my mind was getting into the prestigious college, getting that great education, and that was like the main goal.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out.
It's just one instance. My brother, who's a sophomore this year, and he's a genius, but he just doesn't apply himself to classes. It's the exact same thing. He doesn't want to take AP classes because, like me, he thinks the college board is just they just want your money. That's honestly what it is. And a lot of schools, unless you get a 5 on an AP test, it doesn't count. And some of those tests are ridiculously specific, to the point where, okay, I read the entire book, I knew my subject material, but the questions on there are meant to trip you up. And colleges themselves don't like it because here you are, a high school student, just taking a test that's supposed to count for an entire college course, which to me just doesn't make sense at all. Those are not college professors. They're awesome teachers. The teachers, awesome, no problem with them. But the thing is that they're teaching it to a test. So they're teaching you to do one thing rather than teaching you like the subject material. So that's kind of my main issue with it. I've taken 5 APs over the last 4 years, and I'm going to a school in Canada next year. So none of those AP scores are going to count, especially like US history, US government, like those, they don't even have a class that I could take for that. So really, I just kind of feel like it wasn't worth it. Like I liked it. I got good scores on them, like I got 5s, but it still wasn't like totally worth it. And then I definitely didn't want to do it, like especially with government. Like I love government, it's super interesting, super fascinating, but I knew like I do not like how AP classes are taught. They're taught to the test rather than teaching the subject, which I just think is like really whack. Like you're in high school, and so it's just ridiculous. And so like my counselors were really pushing me to take like AP US Gov, which is weird because I knew that I had to take AP Gov and Econ, which Econ I was like, ooh. And I ended up, I'm really not doing well in that class now because it's at an AP level, so it's teaching to the test, so it's just do boom, 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 it's like accelerated, which I just feel like isn't worth it.
So I think that the center is an amazing experience and that if you can do it, I think you should. I think there's a lot of in-betweens, a lot of ifs, a lot of buts, because it is so much stress. It's like during my sophomore and junior year, if you asked me about it, if it would be worth it, I would tell you no. But after coming out of the other side and being almost done with it, it was really an enlightening experience and it really helped me out. And I think it could really help anyone else out too.
Okay, go.
I think when it comes to future students doing APs, I think everyone should do it. I think that every student is capable. I think we have great teachers who can help students be successful. I think that you have to go into it with open eyes though and understand that it's not the same as a CP class in a lot of instances. The tests especially require you to study, and being humble enough to talk to teachers and ask for help is certainly important, and understand that there's going to be a point that school gets where you have to study. And knowing I cannot wing it, I cannot just float through and be fine. I think that's the biggest problem students get when they first take an AP class is school's always been easy, and all of a sudden it's really, really hard. You have to adapt and have to learn to do those things, but we're in a world now where college is such an important thing for students to do that making sure that they're prepared is what our job is. So I want to make sure students are prepared for that rigor, which means I think that they should be able to take an AP course and do their best to be successful. Maybe not jump in and take 3 or 4 all at once, but certainly try to take them because you're going to have to do it in college. So you might as well learn how to do it here where you have a lot of teachers that care about you that want to help improve your ability to do well.